Hey guys, before I make the video on Philippines, I wanted to give you a big picture analysis of how they control the world and how we are all brainwashed to a certain degree. And I wish if you are a parent, please do not make a super critical mistake that our parents did by sending your kids to a Western education system that will sign a doom contract with Satan, guys. There is only one place on earth that is kind of safe from satanic influence, and it's Southeast Asia. And it is the one place that is never promoted, guys. I wish someone told me about this when I was a kid, and I wouldn't have wasted close to 20 to 30 years of my life in the hell called the Western civilization, which is nothing but satanic. So, please, guys, I have covered this topic again and again, and you can now see live. This I have predicted it 10 years ago, the very first videos I have made. This is how millennials and Gen Z will suffer, and this is just the beginning, guys. So, if you have children, please send them to Southeast Asia, the one region that is never promoted. Did you ever read anything about Southeast Asia? It's only through backpackers and now YouTubers that you are beginning to hear about Southeast Asia, especially Thailand, Bali. But it was always like that for thousands of years, guys. But we were fooled into Western centric education system. So many parents make critical mistake by sending into West, and all they have is debt and loan, a 9 to 5 crisis job, guys. So if you look into the Western Hemisphere, not the brainwashing CIA cult of Andrew Tate, what is the color of my Bugatti, and few of the Freemasons who are promoting you to work hard. It is impossible for 99% of the West to get Bugatti, guys. What you want is a middle class life, upper middle class life, which at least can give you roof over your head and 2 meals a day. But even that is becoming impossible for 90% of the West, guys. Cost of living crisis. My main audience is middle class guys. Nobody cares about us. It is either the rich billionaires, Bill Gates and Trump, or it's the super poor homeless. What about us? The middle class guy who is getting churned every day, right? So if you are a middle class guy in India or China or Europe or America struggling, I will tell you one place, and if you are past your prime, still you have hope, guys. That is the reason if you find even 1% of my video helpful, it is not because of I am Indian. I made a strategic move because I am extremely sensitive and ultra observant because I was working for US companies and living in Germany for some time. But then I compared it with the least popular place like in education curriculum that we read Southeast Asia. But everything that I compared with Europe and Southeast Asia, I was living like a king in the Philippines with whatever little I had, and I was making more in Germany, but I was living almost like a homeless. This was in 2014, guys. So I made a strategic decision why I am being fooled. And I have predicted it back in the time. This is going to hit the West like anything. And if you have kids, do not make them suffer like you did. And if you are in your youth, sell everything and move to Southeast Asia, guys. As you can see here, Australia cost of living. Every English speaking country including India, because we are Western oriented, we are designed on Western framework, right? We are all suffering mostly because the youth are in unemployment crisis because we did not adopt, we were forced into the Western way of living. Cost of living crisis, why paycheck to paycheck is the new normal. Cost of living crisis in UK. Families turn to food relief charity amid cost of living crisis. These are not some people who didn't pay their dues. There is a thing in the West. You didn't pay their dues. This is what bugs me, guys. These all people paid their dues. They studied hard, they went to university, they did everything that the system asked for, and then they failed, which is what middle class people suffer the lot, right? We are not, it's not that these people didn't pay their dues, they worked hard and still they are homeless, they are living in van, they don't have job, right? India, it's the same, guys, but the Indian media and everything doesn't show it. We don't have that much freedom, and India is already poor, but the middle class itself is going the wrong way by sending their kids to the West. They should send their kids to Southeast Asia, guys, the least promoted place in the entire world. But when you backpack, when you travel, then you realize Thailand and Bali and Angkor Wat, right? Why UK is completely done, guys. It's hell. And it is never coming back. I can guarantee it. It's over. If you are a millionaire or a Gen Z, pack your bags. If you have kids, immediately sell everything and move to Southeast Asia. Thailand, Bali, Philippines, Laos, Cambodia, everything will do except the rest of the world will collapse. I have predicted it 10 years ago. Why I want to leave the UK? Why I am leaving the UK? There are thousands of videos, UK, US, Australia, all Anglo countries are collapsing, guys. Everything will collapse. I'm telling you. And this is especially like, for the women, it is horrible. Like hospital and medical bills, car loan, student loan, right? And then there is a firing thing, getting fired on their day off, evictions, homelessness, single parents, right? American dream is dead and being poor is the new normal. Men are not same. She owes thousands. So there are hundreds of videos. The harsh reality of job market in America. People paychecks are being taken because of student loan. I wanted to tell you, more people are losing their homes and as foreclosure license. Americans are being crushed. This is middle class crisis, guys. They want to get rid of people like you and me, right? The future looks bad for millennials. Hospital and medical bills. You know the score, right? So I want to give you solution. Everyone wants to move to Thailand. This is a this guy is Paul Lee. He's a South Korean but born in US. And this video got a million views. But in America, if you ask, the number one destination is Thailand, not Greece and Rome, guys. The entire Western education system ran on Greco and Roman and Alexander the Great, right? And we in India were also forced into the Western Hemisphere. But when these guys travel the world, when they landed in Southeast Asia, Thailand, they realized like there is something definitely wrong with the education because they never were thought about Thailand, not about Ayutthaya, not about Angkor Wat, right? Just bits and pieces. In Asia, they what they get always is Japan going through currency crisis, right? India going through unemployment crisis, China job and inflation, right? Thailand has the lowest unemployment rate in the entire world, by 0.86. You will immediately get job. But they do not want to promote country like Thailand in your education. You yourself have to do it. As you can see, this guy, like, they always tell you Africa and Europe. But even African Americans are moving to Southeast Asia. They don't want to go to Africa or Europe, right? Even Americans, like white Europeans, they want to move to Southeast Asia, not to their motherland, right? So there are thousands of videos on Thailand, but you would think that an American would find his roots and go to UK, but that's already done with, right? It is and for India, I don't want even to put, because we all know the condition. It was always been like that. But the super critical mistake, I can tell you, living in Southeast Asia for close to 15 to 20 years and working for US companies and living in Europe, I can tell you, you are making a super critical mistake. Don't fall for the mainstream media, guys. If you have kids, please send them to Southeast Asia. If you are an Indian and if you are, I will break it down to you as I made a video on Philippines. He will thank you forever. If you are in the West, this is what your life, my life was always. In the West, you jump from one crisis to another, guys. They, what do you think this is? Even when you pay your dues, go to college, right? Study hard. This is what they will give you. I was fired on my vacation. Remote workers are getting fired, 10,000 fired. Massive teachers firing. Do you think they are homeless drug addicts? They are middle class people, guys. This is what the West is all about. They literally have a time, right? Term crisis actors. In the West, you jump from one crisis to another. In Southeast Asia, it max 3 to 4 crises. I have witnessed this, guys, and unfortunately, I got locked. That is why I'm speaking in English. If my parent knew about Southeast Asia, I wouldn't even be making videos. I would be somewhere in a beach, right? Would have opened a resort or a restaurant and enjoying my life, because I have paid my dues, guys. I have done my degree. I have studied hard, and I have nothing to show. Like not like a crisis, but still, it is not as good as I have hoped, right? Because the West will always crush you down, guys. I'm not saying Southeast Asia is perfect. We all know, but crisis, guys. I have never seen the max crisis you have in Southeast Asia is death or for last stage of your life, death or some car accident, right? There is no like neighborhood like living up with the Kardashians, or right, or fighting when going to club, getting involved in some fight, or the government putting you in some corruption. Like Thailand still has 7% bad guys for decades. The even the pad Thai and the tuk tuk cost like 10 baht, the local bus. And I am seeing this for past 20 years in Thailand. India cost of living has exploded, like CNG, everything. Thai government has reduced petrol price to 2.50 INR. So 77 to 80 rupees you can get petrol. And the electricity has remained steady at 7 baht, right? So it's very, very affordable. And the thing is, the cost of living crisis has not affected middle class people. But the thing about Southeast Asia is they have made sure you only see this nightlife, right? They don't want you to uh, imagine a place where your kids can thrive and have a good life. Whenever you are supposed to think about Thailand, you have to think about massage and nightlife and drinks and party. It is just 5%, guys. Like the entire tourism sector, even though it is huge, I will make separate video on how Thailand has beaten the biggest corporations. Did you know Thailand earned $50 billion last year, and that money went to every sectors of society. Its revenue is like it's like total income from tourism is more than Tesla, UFC, WWF, Microsoft, Amazon. You will be blown away, guys. With domestic tourism, it is $75 billion. Like Grand Palace made $120 million, guys. There are only 200 companies in India which made 1,000 crore profit. Just 200 companies in entire 1.4 billion people in India. I will break down the stats for you. Just the Grand Palace. Why hasn't India adopted? Because India has lot of landmarks that it can promote tourism, right? They are just copying whatever the West is telling Indians to copy, guys. India could have gone the tourism way. At least it could have provided thousands of jobs, right? India and the world still thinks Thailand is all about nightlife. It has the longest road bridge in the world, 700, highest number of flyovers, right? In Bangkok, 700 flyovers. So you only realize the worth of Southeast Asia when shit hits the fan back home, guys. If you want to maintain your standard of living as it was when you were a child, right? You don't have to count pennies. While I was in Europe and Germany, I was always counting pennies, guys. In Southeast Asia, even if you make mistake, right? Even if you go to a restaurant and the food is bad, you can just forget and go next day to another restaurant, guys. You have so much free time to think, especially if you are into conspiracy and truth. You have how thousands of hours. The only reason I am able to make these videos is I had so much free time, guys. So much free times in Thailand. I now have a long-term visa. I knew this is the only region which can give me freedom, guys. I don't have to struggle to paycheck to paycheck or pay my loans. I am insurance free, debt free, loan free, credit card free, and still I live a very beautiful life, incredible life. This region is the least promoted, guys. Why it is the most visited place. Like Bangkok is the most visited place on earth because your soul knows. It's just that your school brainwashed you, but your soul, like your emotions, your energy knows something is there in this region. This was the ancient Lemuria, guys, Sundaland. This is the region the Dracos never will promote because this is not going down anyway. Because Thailand and Bali has proven, right? They have stood the test of time for thousands of years. Rest every country will crash. I have told this 15 years ago, and I will tell you even now. This is what you are seeing. I have told this will not end, guys. And if you are an Indian, please send your kids to Southeast Asia. I have made a video on why you should send your kids to Philippines, but Indian Draco will make sure you never send your kids to Philippines because their karma will dissolve and they will come out as a new human, new Indian, right? So this is why they do not want this region to be promoted, but only as nightlife massage. Nothing could be further from the truth, guys. Thailand unemployment rate is 0.91%. And like the middle class Thais, 52% are self-employed compared to US, UK, which is just 10%, guys. So every other Thai is a self-employed person, not like he's working in a farm on his own land. Even in Bangkok, you see a lot of street food, right? And Chatuchak is the largest market in the world. How do you think it's working? Because people are self-employed, guys. It's cost of living. So please do not fall for this Western scam of psyoping your brain into thinking Southeast Asia is all about backpacking, right? Cheaper living. No, guys, I will tell you what Southeast Asia is. Why weren't we thought about Southeast Asian civilization? I guarantee you, you never learned about Southeast Asia. Only through YouTube and while you yourself went, right? That is all by design, guys. The school curriculum bias, Eurocentrism, most global education systems, especially those influenced by colonial powers, highlight the so-called pillars of Western civilization, Greece, Rome, Christianity, Enlightened Europe. Colonial hangover, much of Southeast Asia was colonized except Thailand. Colonial rulers intentionally suppressed native histories, language, cosmologies to control population. The primitive narrative, it was politically advantageous to portray these cultures as backward or spiritually naive to justify conquest and civilizing missions. It was all about Greece and Rome, guys. I remember. How far has Greece and Rome taken you? Just loans and debts and credit card EMI, right? The entire life you will pay EMI and nothing else. As my friend said, absolutely it offers. nothing. And tell me, guys, how Bali, like it has thousands of amazing temples, incredible architecture, right? And it built thousands of years ago without Western architecture, without CEOs, without BlackRock funding of 100 billion, like venture funding, right? How Bali could make thousands of temple without Greek geometry, without Pythagoras theorem, guys. It is incredible. I am blown away when I went here. I couldn't believe how fooled the entire world is, right? They didn't. How come Bali doesn't need a CEO for temple building for this architecture, right? It is out of this world. I can tell you, if you have a home, if you have a restaurant, if you have, please do Balinese architecture. Thousands of people will come. It is unique. If any city in the world plans it like Bali, the tourist will come non-stop, guys. It is literally spiritual, exactly how an architecture of home should be. Not like shoebox, right? Japanese, Chinese, Indians, Singapore, even Thailand made a mistake in adopting the Western shoebox architecture, right? For affordability and cost of living. Bali is how you live. Those who have money, right? They always go to Bali and live. They don't need sacred, like, Greek geometry. They have their own system, guys. Astha Kosala Kosali in Balinese. So they have their own style of architecture. ECT conspiracy to keep the world Western oriented. It's more than just oversight. It is a form of cultural colonization, guys. Spiritual technology is suppressed. Just like Nikola Tesla was erased from mainstream physics, indigenous system like Bali cosmology was intentionally ignored. East versus West dichotomy. Western control relies on presenting its own history as the default, and all other deviations are underdeveloped stages. Knowledge gatekeeping, guys, super critical. Bali, Thailand, Cambodia, Java, these old Atlantean echoes, pure Diluvian wisdom, non-linear timelines that destabilize Western chronological superiority. The people widely knew that really what really existed in Southeast Asia. I can tell you it was Lemuria, guys. It would shake the very foundation of Western enlightenment. What is taught in Western schools, in most US European school curriculum, Greco-Roman. How many of Americans want to live in Greek and Rome, guys? They all want to move to Thailand. Thailand is the number one most popular place in US right now. Right? European history heavily emphasized Christianity, Judaism taught as root of Western values. China and India usually touched upon briefly in world history. Africa, Southeast Asia, Pacific Islands, often marginalized or grouped under other cultures. Cambodia, Thailand, Bali, briefly mentioned in a sentence or two, entirely ignored. Angkor Wat, one of the greatest architectural marvel on earth. I am shocked that Angkor Wat has so much connection to India. I never learned, guys. I only saw in like Discovery Channel and in closely to YouTube videos, travel YouTube videos. In India, they never promoted Angkor Wat. Like it is the largest Hindu temple in the world, right? And still, many Indians never learned it in school. I don't know if they changed their curriculum right now. I don't think they will. But in my growing days, there it was. I never learned about. I didn't know there is a place called Angkor Wat. Can you imagine the, the control they have? Thailand and Bali almost entirely ignored. Thailand ancient kingdoms like Sukhothai and Ayutthaya are rarely taught, even though they were massive cultural centers with their own scripts, arts, and philosophies. Bali, with their living temple system, Vedic mystic fusion, and sacred ecological architecture, is completely absent from almost every Western school books. Why, guys? The most visited place on planet Earth, right? Thailand and Bali, is completely ignored by the Western. They all want you to see this as a tourist hotspot. It is amazing how the control system is, guys, in the world. Incredible. Why this matters? This isn't just academic negligence. It shapes worldview. They are slowly programming you, guys. This is especially true for Indians and Asians. Students grow up believing Europe and Mediterranean were the only great civilization. This Ayutthaya, like the Grand Palace, did you know how much it made? Like when you go to, you will be blown away, right? It made $100 million, guys. $120 million. That is equal to 1,000 crore in India. Only like out of 1.4 billion Indians, only 2,000 companies are showing a profit. Of, I will make separate video. 1,000 crores, guys. Just one place in Thailand, it made. I told you earlier, close to $50 billion in tourism revenue, guys. 50 billion. Not even like 100 companies in US make $50 billion, guys. It is competing with Tesla, guys. Tesla's profit was 7.15 billion. I will break it down. UFC made 600 million, guys, and so much NBA, right? NBA 2 billion, 3 billion, and so much coverage. You never know how much, and this money goes to everyone, right? And we were all fooled into this. So I really want you to please understand, do not let your children suffer in this European colonial capitalism. They will be just 9 to 5 slaves, guys. They will never be free. Comparative chart: east versus west, ancient civilization, Khmer, sacred geometry, golden ratio, Vishnu grid, cosmic alignment, Reiko, Orion, Meru axis, living temples, mostly ruins, Yantra mandala. They have now repaired it. Western equivalent. Can you believe? Khmer, the largest, like during that time, largest civilization, it was equal to Roman Empire, guys. But I learned a lot about Romans. Bali, Mahajapai, Astha Kosala Kosali, Mount Agung, living, no Western equal. Can you believe this? We never learned. Sri Vijaya, Byzantine, Sukhothai, Renaissance Italy, Greece. This is not aligned, earthbound, military oriented. You see, ruins. Philosophy, limited sacred text. It is brainwashing, guys. Greece is nothing but brainwashing your mind. Western education, immigration, and economic systems are designed to trap individuals in depth, delay, and dependency, while Southeast Asia offers natural freedom, low cost of living, spiritual alignment, and social harmony, but is almost never presented as a life path. I am telling you, guys, do not India, it's not China, it's not Japan, it's not South Korea. The least promoted region by the mainstream is Southeast Asia. You yourself, when you go, you promote it, right? There are thousands of videos about Bali. It is the number one trending like clips on TikTok, always Thailand and Bali. But when you study it, you will never hear about it, right? Thailand and Southeast Asia was hidden on purpose. The global education matrix only glorifies US, UK, France, Germany. This is all to make you live with 5 people in a dome and pay the tax 52%, right? Guys, Thailand, like VAT is 7%, guys. And here the entire European VAT is 20 plus tips plus 100 rupees of petrol, right? Southeast Asia is never portrayed as a dream, even though it's cheaper, safer, emotionally healthier, spiritually richer, and has lower unemployment, more small business culture, and community safety. As I said, 50% of Thais are self-employed, guys. You go to Chinatown, right? You go to Chatuchak market, you go to Road 5 night market. How do you think there are thousands of hundreds of night market all over Thailand? They don't have to depend on CEOs, guys. Stay away from the CEO culture. Westerners are only told about Thailand when they are 40, burnout, broke, and post divorce. This is the maximum people we see online, right? Crying about cost of living and then coming with their retirement. This is why I want to tell you super critical. Please send your kids right now to Thailand. I can tell you, once he grows past 20, anyway, he will be visiting Thailand, but he will then make plans to move to Southeast Asia, but he wouldn't have the finance, right? Because all the money will go in, suck into Western education system. You can easily let him like leave for decades in Thailand with the money you send him in college education in the West, right? It's not just cultural, it's energetic gatekeeping, guys. The Saturnian matrix doesn't want people escaping into Uranus zone like Thailand or Bali, where life force reactivates. Super critical information. I found this way later, guys, but I am glad I did. Many people are finding it out, but we need to make sure our coming generation, at least some of them, I know not everyone will move, but at least some of them, if they could come out of the Saturnian matrix and move to Uranus zones. Uranus zone is nothing but freedom, guys, enlightenment, fun, nightlife, close to zero unemployment, no slavery, no karmic debt, right? That is why Uranus is not even included in Vedic astrology controlled by the Draco. Not even in Western is little bit. Case for studying in Thailand instead of West. Tuition fee, UK, Europe. This is normal, right? 30 to 40. Thailand 1 to 4,000. Mental health of student low, stress high, cost high. Housing cost 1,000 to 2,500, 100 to 400. Language learning Eurocentric, Thai plus English taught anyway. Work while studying limited, restricted, informal, flexible possibilities. Spiritual exposure, secular, sterile. Temples, nature, ancestral rights. Community safety, gun violence, bullying, low crime, high respect. This respect is super important, guys. You never hear a Thai honk. If you go to any cities in Bangkok, they bow down while crossing the road, guys. It is this small thing nobody tells you. There is absolutely zero road rage. Very few. They will never honk you, guys. The worst place I have seen is Chennai. Everyone honks. It is so annoying and disrespectful, guys. Only place I have seen where people are minimal, like 99.99%, you never hear honking is like in Malaysia, in Southeast Asia, in Thailand, right? In Philippines. These places are super respectful, guys. Thailand citizenship, this is the big one, right? Everyone wants, but we are too late to the party. So if your child is studying in Thailand, it becomes super easy, guys. For us, it is hard, but there are other ways to get like through marriage or long-term visa. But your children will not suffer. Like must live in Thailand for 5 to 10 years. This will be already covered when he's studying, right? Must speak Thai. It will be done. Must sing national anthem. It is not different from what it is in US, right? Clean criminal record, tax return for 5 years. Must show intent to integrate culturally. Must pass Thai culture and history test. Application fee 5,000 to 10,000 baht. This is exactly why being enrolled in a Thai school from childhood makes citizenship much easier. You absorb Thai language, anthem, culture, and fulfill residency early. Why Southeast Asia was never promoted on the world stage, geopolitical gatekeeping, post World War II, the US Europe shaped global media, education, and economics. The focus was placed on Euro American civilization as the pinnacle. Asian nations were excluded from this narrative to prevent economic power migration, which is what is now happening. Suppress non Western models of success. Bali, guys. Bali doesn't need anyone for thousands of years, and this is the best place to live, right? Now the traffic has increased, we know, but that is because of tourism and everyone. The entire world wants to be here. But if the governors, mayors, and political adopt the Bali model of living, 90% of the problems, crisis that we face every day will disappear, guys. I'm not saying Southeast Asia is perfect, you know, right? But it is the best option for middle class people, guys. Cultural suppression, spiritual suppression, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, Bali still hold living spiritual system. These are not theoretical like Western religion, they are daily practice. When you go to Bali, every day you see in Thailand offering to spirit. Even Indians have forgotten all this. Temple rituals, respect for elders, monks, harmony with land. Colonial powers feared this system because they cannot be monetized. Everything is pay-per-view, right? Empower people to live outside the matrix, compete with Western secular materialism. Why backpackers wake up in Southeast Asia? Most of the information we have about Southeast Asia, like 20 to 30 years ago, was through backpackers, guys. They never mentioned in our school curriculum. Now it is YouTube, but still, every Westerner who lands in Thailand or Bali says, why weren't we told about this place earlier? And then they communicate with Aravo, you should totally visit Thailand, Bali, right? Safe, affordable, women feel respected. This is super critical, guys. Southeast Asia, I can categorically tell the one place on planet Earth where women are safe and respected. India is not safe, we know, right? India, China is safe, but still, cost of living, if you see, like if you are independent woman, want to do some research, right? Southeast Asia offers everything in balance, guys. Beach, food, whether locals are non-judgmental, don't impose religion or racism. Spirituality is embedded into life, not sold like product. Nature, food, healing hubs, and social freedom coexist. The that contrast shatters everything they believed about Europe being the best. This is how I was also told. Right? But luckily, I went. The first place I went to was Philippines. Then I went to like other places. But this got when I compared, it got shattered. Why India, China, Africa gets more spotlight. India promoted globally, yes. Huge consumer market, tech outsourcing, yoga tourism, but spiritually has become commercial and often exploitative. We know this, right? China, economic power surveillance model used as a tool for global governance replication. Africa, partially resource rich but shown as in need of Western help, perpetuate savior complex. Middle East, yes, oil, politics, religion control, but freedom is low. Middle East is Israel, Gaza, right? Always. Southeast Asia almost never too harmonious, too dangerously peaceful. Doesn't fit the conflict capitalism narrative. Only the Southeast Asia can destroy the West, guys, not India, China, because of culture, guys. People will silently move. Why Thailand is the perfect scalar balance, freedom without chaos, spirituality without dogma, nature without danger, modernity without expertise. This is super critical, guys, because we are accustomed to Western way of life, right? Satan is not stupid. So if you want to maintain that lifestyle without becoming homeless or paying living in debt, Southeast Asia, Thailand offers, even Singapore, like one of the odd anomalies. But Thailand has all the amenities 10 times better for 10 times less. Respect, you don't have to respect anyone because he is some a big political leader or a. You just respect everyone, guys. I felt most respect in Philippines, like Thailand, because everyone respects you for who you are. Community without control, economy without debt, culture without colonization. I know there are problem in Thailand. There are debt problem, like drugs problem, everything. But for middle class like you and me, who has paid their dues, it is a heaven, guys. Why are people ignoring middle class people? Is what I want to know. It's the scalar midpoint. 90% of tourists who go to Thailand are middle class, right? How many Teslas and Amazon CEOs you see in Thailand? That's why Russians, Europeans, Australian, Canadians, even Americans flee to it despite having richer countries. Thailand is not just a place, it's an alternative timeline, a reset frequency from the karmic loops of the West. Why the world is failing except Southeast Asia? You are seeing it right now, right? Because it has proven the test, it has stood the test of time, guys. Cost of living is gone. I'm telling you, guys, I told this 15 years ago. It's over. Run now. At least if you can, at least make sure your children are safe. Thailand affordable. Southeast Asia. Spirituality debt commercialized, alive, woven into life. Mental health crisis, we know, right? Community based healing. Education debt trap, cheap functional, gender safety, high risk in public. Women walk alone at night. Infrastructure aging, clean, like Bangkok looks 1,000 times better than any city in the West, guys. Like even Malaysia does the same, right? Food over processed, fresh herbal, like there is no competition, right? When it comes to food and Thailand. community isolated, family and neighborhood connected, work life, overwork, multiple jobs. I have never seen a single teacher because I was renting a Thai like university teacher's home, and she has like the most happiest person I have ever seen. And she was working in Bangkok and she had other places. She had two three like condos to rent, multiple cars. Like she was never stressed out compared to teachers in the West, right? Like if you are I'm telling you guys, if you are a graduate, if you can make it to the level of graduate, it's over. You will leave a by 25 your life is all set. I'm telling this for Indians specifically because we graduates are the most suffering people in India. You have to go to West, then like Canada is totally scam, guys. Please don't send your kids to Canada, send them to Thailand. I'm telling you, when they are in the 12th standard it is too late, but the earlier the better. Tell them to learn Thai. They will get citizenship and they are set, guys. I have never seen a graduate struggle in Thailand. Never. If he pays his dues in my condo itself, like everyone is happily married. They have a four-wheel drive and they are always going to beach and like planning new holidays. Like even work is very easy for them. I can tell you today, guys, Thailand has like figured 90% of the problem that we humans face, guys. This may come as a shock, but food, they have figured it out, right? Employment, money, they have figured it out, guys. 0.86%. This is, I'm telling you, if you are an Indian, please go to Thailand and study. You will never be jobless. After 20, you will immediately get a good job. Why are we paying 100,000 for a degree when Thai student pay 3,000? But the videos, most of the videos only show you the tourist part, 5% massage and nightlife. That is not what Thailand is. I have lived among the Thais, guys, in Nonthaburi, in Bangkok. So if you live among the Thais, you will know how incredible like Thai middle class are living. But the YouTube and all shows the beach and clubs and nightlife. You think the entire Thailand is like that? How about the middle class of Thailand? How are they living compared to a middle class guy in India or in the US? I can tell you, he's living 100 times better life. Why do I live in fear and death when Thai's families smile with less? Why does Thailand feels like Earth I remember from childhood dreams? Right? We all want to work with our laptop on the beach. Only Thailand can make that dream come true, guys. And that would collapse the Western control matrix. This is what we want, guys. English Western control is nothing but satanic, guys. You can contribute to the destruction of the West by sending your kids to Southeast Asia. I'm telling you, it's not like a small thing because I have lived in Southeast Asia for in and out for close to 2 decades now. So, and I have long-term visa now for Thailand. So I am categorically more qualified to tell you. Wish my parents told me, knew this information. I would have never been sucked into the West, guys. I am telling you, this is very important because they have figured it out, guys. This may not like there are hundreds of self-help professional and motivational speakers in the West fooling you for thousands of dollars. You don't need motivation, guys. Just go to freaking Thailand. You don't need motivation. Only problem is you didn't study in Thailand. You didn't learn Thai. I wish I went to Thailand when I was like 16, 17, 20 and studied in Thai university. I wouldn't suffer so much, struggle so much as far as life is concerned. And I would have so much freedom. The only freedom that I can tell you the way I could research and do my own thing is because I lived in Southeast Asia, guys. And I am telling you, I don't have debt, I don't have insurance, I don't have credit card loan, nothing, house loan, nothing. Because I don't have to worry, I don't have to count pennies, guys. Oh, what will happen tomorrow? How many? Right? So don't fall for the Western scam, guys. Thailand, Bali, Cambodia, Laos, they are guardian zones. If you are a conspiracy theorist, truther, please think about moving to this zone. And you can make it from my accent. I am an Indian, right? Their function is to heal old ancestral frequency or restore joy. They threaten global structure built on fear, shame, depth, and war. The elite didn't forget Southeast Asia, they hid it from the masses because once you taste it, you never go back to the machine, guys. This is what I want to tell you. If you don't want to go back to the wall shop control machine, send your kids to Southeast. At least that is the way to the freedom of planet Earth, guys. Yeah, guys, I will make few more videos before I make the critical video on Philippines, so that we all be up to date and get out of the brainwashing.